Okay guys, so as promised, we're going to go ahead and show you real quick, kind of a side-by-side a little bit with the evoSPEEDs and the new Predator LZs. Going to focus on a couple, real basic things, kind of a structural rundown. We'll go over durability aspects of how the shoes are, how they're made and how tough they are, kind of slated to be, I guess. We have had the chance to really kind of beat the hell out of both of these with as much as upwards of 30 hours of playtime on either pair so far. So needless to say, we've put them through the paces pretty good. So yeah, we're going to focus on structure, focus on durability, and we're going to focus on performance and kind of give you a rundown real quick of each one. Starting off with the evoSPEED, structurally speaking, advantages the evoSPEED has. Love the stud layout. It's really quite comfortable. The studs in the forefoot are actually really quite flexible, which is which we've already kind of gone over a little bit. But the studs being flexible, actually, you find that they are really good for sprinting and cutting and all that good stuff. So really, they stick well in turf. They stick well in natural grass. They do a great job with both of those things. As far as the Predator goes, stud layout is obviously not unique. It's kind of a combination of the Adizero, the Traction 2.0, and the Predator with that that kind of taller middle stud there in the forefoot that we saw prominently featured in the AdiPower, both in the SL and the firm ground versions. And with triangular studs, which we all kind of know, at this point are basically specifically for tearing turf, either natural or artificial. The idea being that cutting and turning is meant to be more of a pivot and less of a shift. And with the tearing of turf, obviously makes that pivot a little bit easier and shifting considerably more difficult. Whereas this one, the emphasis is on shift. Advantage there is kind of a push. Both shoes do well as far as performance goes with traction, and obviously that's definitely a bonus. So. Other than that, structurally speaking, you've also got one of the things that evoSPEED clearly takes the cake on is the comfort level associated with the heel counter that they've created on this shoe. The heel counter is really flexible. It still offers a pretty decent amount of protection. Nobody's really got completely blasted in the heel with those things, but unless you've got like a really narrow foot, this heel isn't particularly comfortable. The heel counter on here is kind of thick. It's a little bit bulky, but more than anything, it's really kind of narrow. You can see it for yourself. It's pretty snug. It's pretty tight. That unitong right there is it is kind of irritating. It's not the worst we've ever seen. I mean, actually, the last Predators were worse, and the Pred X's were just abysmal. But as you can see on this one, no such troubles here. So definitely advantage evoSPEED as far as I'm concerned. Also, structurally speaking, the upper on the evoSPEED is K-leather. The shoe itself is crazy light. I believe they weigh in at 6.8 ounces in a sample size 9. Whereas over here, we've got, again, if I'm not mistaken, 7.7 ounces. So an extra ounce on here. And also the material is that new Adidas LS material. Again, leather. It's kind of that hybrid leather synthetic. So it's a full synthetic, but with a durability and flexibility of leather that just takes on less water. The difference, obviously, the biggest difference between the two is going to be durability. This really crazy thin kangaroo leather upper right here you're going to find it's going to break. Toot sweet, if I'm not mistaken. One of the big ones is this seam right here, right between the midfoot and the heel counter. You're going to find that spot is going to take is not going to take much punishment. Actually, if you hold these up to the light and look right at that seam with the sock liner gone, you can actually see light coming through it. So you can see for yourself that seam is not particularly well reinforced. Whereas on this shoe right here, no such problems. The epoxy will be an issue almost immediately, just like it has been with Preds past. But nevertheless, at least you have more of a fighting chance with the Predator LZs. So advantage LZ on structural kind of upper design. And then you've got fit and feel, just kind of overall fit and feel there's no comparison. The evoSPEED is a clearly superior shoe as far as that's concerned. The Predator LZs are I don't know, they're not the most comfortable for my foot shape. I have kind of a high arch, and I've got wide feet, and the Predators really have not done very well by me as far as width goes, and they do not cradle my arch whatsoever. Whereas the evoSPEEDs, they do a great job. But also we've had more flat feet try these on, and just in general the consensus seems to be evoSPEED as far as comfort, fit and feel, that sort of thing. So. Again, advantage evoSPEED on that one. Another advantage for the evoSPEED is the touch, just a really natural touch, both on the instep and when you're taking a laces shot. Touch is really true. You know where the ball's going when you strike it with those ones. And by design, actually, you really don't have a very good touch on these shoes whatsoever. The Predator applique is reinforced this year more so than normal. It is really quite sticky. You're going to find that when you're first using those boots, it's going to take like a period of adjustment for you to really get a good idea for where the ball's going to be going and that sort of thing. So just be warned, when you're breaking them in, the break-in period is just as much for you as it is for the boots. So keep that in mind. Get a real feel for how the ball's going to react coming off your foot, because with all this rubber everywhere, and it is everywhere, then you're going to find that obviously your touch is completely altered. So again, as far as I'm concerned, advantage evoSPEED on that one, because I don't know about you, but I don't have a whole heck of a lot of time to be goofing around with a new feel on an upper every single time I put on a boot. So it's just kind of a novelty thing, I guess. I'm a little tired of trying to analyze the new novelty every single time a new pair of boots comes out. I kind of like a little bit of consistency in launches, and Predators are just the exact opposite of that just about every time. So another advantage goes to evoSPEED is the sock liner. The sock liner is awesome on this shoe. It really cradles your foot quite nicely. It does definitely adjust to that kind of duo flex forefoot technology where you're finding studs adjusting to the ground underneath you, that sort of thing, and it really moves with the studs. So that is definitely awesome. And over here you've got kind of a stock, a little bit of adiprene and not a whole heck of a lot else to recommend it style sock liner. So not a huge deal, not a huge improvement over the Adi Powers as far as that goes. And then apart from that, if we're talking about durability, it looks like the advantage is going to go to the LZs. Just like we talked about a little bit ago, the upper on these ones is just going to take longer to tear. The only spot you're really worried about are obviously seam points where epoxy is really heavy. Right along this rubber stripping right here, you're going to find that there's a lot of epoxy packed on there. It's going to be just kind of a matter of time before boots start to go up here on that one. But on the on the evoSPEEDs, like we were saying before, you can see right through that seam when you've got when you're holding up to the light. So again, same drill, just a matter of time before that midfoot lets go. Comfort-wise, evoSPEED hands down for reasons we've already kind of discussed. But when it comes to performance, it's really a toss-up. With these things being so crazy light and doing such a great job, as far as traction goes, as far as moving, cutting, sprinting, backpedaling to get back into position, all that good stuff, these things really do an amazing job. But so do the Pred LZs. And I guess the difference that comes in as far as performance goes is that your shot off of these Predator appliques, which, everybody, if you've worn a Predator before, you know that rubber really does, make a difference with your touch on the ball. It also makes a difference on your shot. And you're going to find that your shot with these boots is just completely different than what you're used to. It's going to move, it's going to dip, it's going to spin in weird ways that you don't expect. And until you get used to these boots, you're going to find that, all of a sudden you've got, you've got a little bit more swerve on the ball than you're used to. A lot of that also is associated with the shape of the toe box. It really does cradle the top of your foot. It does a great job. It's really snug. And then with your evoSPEEDs, again, not so much. They try to go with that kind of anatomical, what they call anatomical toe box, and that is, again, not necessarily ideal. But yeah, so I've talked enough. I've talked a lot, frankly, so I'll turn it over to you guys. Definitely, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments. We're just answering constantly, so it's really, we're keeping up with you as much as we can. So, So leave love in the comments. Other than that, you can get either of these two boots and really almost anything else out there on WeGotSoccer.com, which is just my favorite place to shop, so that's why I throw it out there. And apart from that, yeah, so definitely check out OnsideReviews.com. We're going to have stills going up of both of these boots very shortly, so you can get kind of a look and feel for the texture of the boot as well. And other than that, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully you guys will stick around for the next video too. Thanks a lot.